What is going on, guys? It's been 2 full weeks since Verwin's Meat launched globally, and the dust from early chaos is finally settled. After countless of PvP, PvE boss fights, faction skirmishes, and more last-second weapon swaps that any sane human should endure, and we finally have a clear picture of which weapon combos will truly shine in the current meta, and which ones will fall behind. This 2-spear build looks intimidating at a first glance. The dual spears give you long reach, fast thrust chains and easy access to the stagger pressure. You would imagine that this setup could control spacing with authority, shutting down anyone who tries to close the distance, while punishing anyone who overextends. And in some early fights, that is exactly what it does. You poke, you pressure, and you manage the mid-range game with admirable precision. But after extended testing, this double spear setup simply does not hold up compared to the rest of the roster. The main issue is that the build becomes one-dimensional. You have reach but very little variation. You can interrupt movement, but you lack the heavier zoning tools that other weapons naturally bring to the table. When a skilled enemy slips through your range or rushes you with mobility skills, the double spear build offers almost nothing to escape or counterattack. Right beside him in the D tier is the spear and rope dart pairing. On paper, this combination should feel smooth. The spear lets you maintain distance, and the rope dart extends that distance even further by letting you pull enemies, interrupt their positioning, and start long combos. Alternating between precise spear thrusts and disruptive rope dart techniques will create a satisfying rhythm that gives you illusion of perfect control. The reality, however, is much different. The build suffers heavily from inconsistency. The rope dart requires accuracy, and in PvP most players learn how to dodge or iframe the pulse quickly. When our spacing is slightly off, enemies will close the gap and force you into the awkward exchanges. And unlike stronger hybrids that compensate with burst damage or defensive tools, the spear and rope dart build just doesn't have the means to recover. Now going into the C tier, and we start to see builds that are fun, viable, and capable of real power in the right player hands. The dual blades and the sword build is exactly that. This combination thrives on pressure and non-stop pursuit. The dual blades acts as the engine of the build by pumping out quick slashes, generating fury rapidly, and rewarding aggressive play. When fury activates, you hit faster, move faster, and gain just enough sustain to keep yourself alive even while trading blows aggressively. The sword meanwhile will provide stability. It gives you cleaner hit confirms, dependable combo endures, and better reach when you need to force a reaction. The synergy between the two is fluid, so you chase with the blades, then overwhelm your enemy, then ignite fury, and then swap to the sword stance whenever you need consistency or a safer finisher. Next, the spear and umbrella build offers a creative blend of offense and counterplay. The spear gives you solid mid-range pressure, while the umbrella adds defensive flexibility with projectile blocking, parry options, and mobility. This setup allows you to control distance efficiently and punish aggression with clean counterattacks. Its reactive and methodical playstyle rewards patience. The problem is that this build does not excel in any specific category. It has decent damage but not incredible damage. It has a good defense but not amazing one. It has mobility, but other combinations just do it better. So, in both PvE and PvP, the build feels like it's always performing at a good enough level. Never bad, however, never outstanding either. Moving into the B tier, and we begin to see combinations that strike a strong balance between offense, control, and survivability. The spear and fan build is the first one to break into that territory. This combo thrives on precision and agility. The spear maintains spacing and applies stagger pressure, while the fan introduces mobility burst, quick range options, and smooth interrupt tools that let you pivot instantly between offense and defense. The synergy becomes clear as soon as you start alternating between them. You poke with the spear, bait dodges, punish with the fan, and then shift back to the spear stance to capitalize on the newly created opening. This build rewards players who enjoy a hit and run tactic and fluid repositioning. In both PvP and PvE, it offers reliable DPS, reliable defense, and just enough speed to keep up with the fast meta builds. Then next, the sword and rope dart combo brings adaptability and control together in a way that feels extremely smooth. The sword provides consistent close quarter damage and reliable pairing, while the rope dart extends your range, letting you pull enemies, interrupt casts, or set up a guaranteed sword punisher. The flow between them is natural. You engage with the sword, force reactions, then pivot to the rope dart to control distance and then re-engage on your terms. The build succeeds because it gives you control over fight tempo. Few enemies can only comfortably approach you, and those who try are often met with punishing DPS. The crowd control potential also makes the sparing surprisingly strong in group encounters. For number 7, this build thrives on balance. The sword and umbrella setup gives you a clean offensive option paired with one of the most flexible defensive tools in the game. The sword offers a quick combos and powerful punishes, while the umbrella blocks projectiles, parries melee strikes, and opens safe counterattack windows. It's one of the most dependable dueling setups. You can play patiently, bait attacks, and punish mistakes repeatedly without exposing yourself too much. Its weaknesses are similar to the spear umbrella build, so it's good at everything but great at nothing. It lacks overwhelming burst, and its defensive tools are strong, but not strong enough to elevate it even higher. Still, it earns a place in the B tier due to its consistency and ease of use. This dual blades and spear build sits at the cusp of the C and the B tier. The dual blades bring speed, few regeneration, and very high damage potential, while the spear offers sweeping AoE control and battlefield shaping. Together, they form a rhythm of gather and burst, so we use spear to cluster enemies, and then blades to melt them. This synergy feels great in PvE, especially in larger fights where the spear goes bind, and the sweeping arcs can clump up enemies perfectly for a fury burst. But in PvP, the spear slower animations make transitions risky, and you can get punished switching into it. Next up we enter the A tier, where builds will start becoming genuinely powerful. The Maw Blades and the Stormbreaker Spear create a tanky and momentum-driven playstyle, built on combat will management. Instead of dodging consistently, you will rotate between blocking, spending will, restoring it, and unleashing explosive AoE charged attacks. This combination lets you absorb pressure and convert it directly into offense. The synergy between the shields, taunts, pulls, and the super armor windows will turn you into a walking battery ram. The PvE players will love this build for its stability and the high AoE output, while the PvP players will appreciate its ability to face tank aggressive enemies without crumbling. Next we have Umbrella and Rope Dart build. This weapon combo is essentially a high-speed range DPS hybrid. The Umbrella provides teleport mobility, range slashes, and a constant chip damage, while the Rope Dart applies soul loss stacks, pulls enemies into the clusters, and boosts your burst windows. The rotation between debuffing with the Rope Dart and demolishing targets with the Umbrella shots will feel almost like playing a spellcaster. In PvE, the build's sustained range DPS is phenomenal, and in PvP, the teleport mobility and the hit and run playstyle makes you incredibly hard to pin down. The only weaknesses is that it relies on timing and a proper stacking, which give it a learning curve that slightly limits accessibility. However, even so, it comfortably sits in the A tier as one of the most fun and effective range hybrids. Next up we have a sword and sword build. The dual sword hybrid is a masterclass in footing and the tempo control. The nameless sword will pressure aggressively with a straight line offense, while the strategic sword adds a layer of movement, feints, and evasive repositioning. Together, they create a combat style where you dictate spacing, manipulate distance, and constantly shift your tempo to destabilize your enemies. This build is incredibly strong in 1v1s, rewarding players with good timing and spatial awareness. It mixes offense and defense so fluidly that the targets never feel comfortable. Its only drawback is the skill required to unlock its full potential. Overall, he got a higher skill floor but excellent payoff, and that's why it stays in the A tier. And now finally we've reached the S tier, where we can see the best builds currently available, and this one is arguably the most dominant. The dual blades provide unmatched pressure at close range, while the mortal Rope Dart unleashes autonomous spectral rats that keep attacking even when you switch weapons. The Rope Dart also debuffs enemies and restores your health when entering the charge stance, which enables longer aggression windows. The synergy here is insanely smooth. You debuff with the Rope Dart, then swap to the blades to shred the target, reposition, and let your rats keep the pressure going. Even when you disengage, your DPS does not stop. This constant, unavoidable chip damage make it incredibly oppressive in PvP and extremely efficient in PvP. Overall, it's fast, safe, and hard-hitting, and that's why it's the hallmark of the S tier. Next we have the Sword and Spear build, and this setup embodies the balance and versatility in the purest form. The Nameless Sword handles close quarters with precision and speed, while the Nameless Spear controls mid-range and groups with the wide and powerful attacks. The rotation between them feels natural. Sword for burst and pressure, and the Spear for zoning and stability. Its defensive utility, particularly the Spear's projectile immunity during the heavy attacks, give it unmatched control in the chaotic fights. This build can handle bosses, 1v1s, group fights, and anything else that the game throws at you. It's smooth, reliable, and extremely adaptable, and that's why it earns its S tier placement without a question. At number 13 we have another S tier standout build. We have the Healing Umbrella and the Penance Fan, which creates one of the strongest sustained loops in the entire game. The Umbrella will provide autonomous healing and protection, while Defend delivers big AoV heals, revives, and steady chip damage. In co-op, you become a mobile healing fortress, and in PvP, you're nearly impossible to kill, unless focused by multiple enemies at once. The build's healing output is so high that it redefines your support play entirely, and specifically for support group content, only few combinations even come close. And finally, for our last build, we have another powerhouse of survivability and reliable offense. The Nameless Sword gives you flexibility and the clean damage options, while the Penance Fan keeps you alive through almost anything with the instant self heals and the range utility. This combo is perfect for players who want a safe and forgiving build that still maintains strong offensive presence. It excels in long fights, solo play, co-op, and PvP. The sustain is tremendous, the damage is consistent, and the rhythm is easy to learn. While not as explosive as some other S-tier setups, its reliability and the DPS secures it its place among the best builds in the game today.